Good morning, it's Heather and Phil, and we are back in the blind with our cameras. This week I've decided to use my R6 Mark II because last time when we were using the R7s, a lot of times our shots were around 300 millimeters. So 300 times the 1.6 crop on the R7 is under 500. So I thought I would put the 100 to 500 on a full frame camera, where normally I don't like it for birding, but at this close range that we're getting in the blind, I think it's going to work just fine. And I've added one feeder to our feeding station, and we've been seeing the last couple of days, we've been seeing a lot of chipping sparrows, which are maybe the smallest of all sparrows. It's really tiny, and we're hoping to get some pictures of them for you. This is a female brown-headed cowbird. We didn't see any males of this species today, and this is the other species we saw a lot of. This is the beautiful chipping sparrow. Just love this one. And here are some of Heather's shots of the brown-headed cowbird. You know, that's not normally a bird you would photograph and say, man, I'm going to make a beautiful photograph of a brown-headed cowbird. But we made a lot of attempts at that today, and here is another one of Heather's shots. This one is of a chipping sparrow. This week we've added heat to the blind because when we were out here 2 weeks ago we got really cold, and it's not quite as cold outside today as it was then, maybe 5 or 6 degrees warmer, and we've got heat, so hopefully we won't get too cold. So far what we are seeing is chipping sparrows and female brown-headed cowbirds. There's a chipping sparrow on the feeder right now, and hopefully it will hop to one of our perches near the feeder. Now there's 2 chipping sparrows, and Heather will get a shot maybe. Here are some more chipping sparrow photographs that I made today. It's such a small sparrow. You see it quite often, but it's really difficult to make a photograph of, but having the blind certainly helped in that regard. And we had some beautiful golden hour light this morning. And I think the next one, yes, this is one of Heather's photographs of the chipping sparrows that we saw there on the back porch this morning. What bird are we seeing the most of, Heather?
Cowbirds.
Heather didn't seem too thrilled about all the cowbirds we were seeing, but you know, we did endeavor to make beautiful photographs of them, and some of them came out pretty nice, others came out just okay, but we were still happy to be photographing something. And I think those first 3 were mine, and yes, this one is one of Heather's. You can always tell Heather's photos because they say Heather Boyd in the bottom right of the frame. What's your favorite bird we've been seeing so far?
Chipping sparrows.
They're cute, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Heather seemed a lot happier to be talking about chipping sparrows. Here's a chipping sparrow photograph that I made on one of the branches on the back porch, and this is a male house finch that was eating a black oil sunflower seed. And now we're back to chipping sparrows. This is one that was on some of the wrought iron that I have on the back porch. And look, it's another chipping sparrow. This is one of Heather's, and it's got its crest poking up, so that's pretty cool. And here's another one of Heather's chipping sparrow photographs. This one has its crest up a little bit as well. Now we're back to brown-headed cowbirds. One of Heather's photographs of the brown-headed cowbird. And another brown-headed cowbird photo. This is a perch that's not even on the porch, but it is something that I have outside on purpose. And here is a chipping sparrow on one of the logs on the back porch. And Heather got a photograph of the male house finch as well, as it was eating a black oil seed. What bird did we see the most of last time we were out here on the blind?
Mockingbirds.
And we finally saw one. Here's my shot of the Northern Mockingbird that came out only for just a second 2 weeks ago when we were out in the blind, and here are Heather's shots. We saw the Mockingbird more than anything else, and it was running off all the other birds, but 2 weeks later, and we only saw the Mockingbird for just a moment, and there it is. Just like last week, I have this branch kind of screwed onto the porch, and I put black oil sunflower seeds in front of it. And right here is a suet feeder, which brings in some birds. I have another branch screwed onto the porch. Kind of our favorite perch for the birds to land on is right here, but they don't land there that often. And then I've got a branch from our redbud tree that I trimmed last year, and I have it kind of festooned on here with a coat hanger, which now that I've added this is the new thing, and that is another bird feeder, and the birds, when they're coming to this bird feeder, sometimes they'll land right here on this section of the redbud branch, but it's just covered with coat hangers, so I'm going to have to get some zip ties or something to tie that on so it's not quite so bad. But that is the setup out here on the porch. Here is a Carolina chickadee that I photographed, and if it weren't for the coat hanger, it might be a pretty nice shot. And just slightly to the right of that same location, here is a chipping sparrow that I photographed on that branch. And now here is the same chipping sparrow that Heather photographed in that location as well. Last time we were in the blind, I got a picture of a Carolina chickadee, and Heather didn't get one, but Heather got one today. Here is Heather's Carolina chickadee photo, and she was not happy that she didn't get one last time, so I'm glad she got one this time. We have a dark background, so we usually underexpose by 1/3 or 2/3 of a stop to not mess up the highlights on the birds. But with the Carolina chickadee, we underexpose, or I underexposed by a full stop, and finally got a chickadee myself. Actually, I got a chickadee earlier, but you can see the coat hanger that's holding on one of my branches in the shot. Here is my Carolina chickadee there on the branch, and I was happy to get that shot, and I made just one more shot, and this one I had to crop it quite a bit to keep the coat hanger out of the shot, but at least I was able to get it. And here is another one of Heather's shots. Heather got another Carolina chickadee shot, and she also made a photograph of the chipping sparrow on our favorite perch. And next up, this is a video clip that I made of a couple of chipping sparrows as they were munching, and you can hear Heather's camera as she made some photographs of it, and one of those photos that she made while I was making that clip is this one. So that turned out pretty good. And now here is a Carolina wren, and you can see its left foot while it's eating on the suet feeder. You can see its left foot is in really bad shape. It's got some definite problems. And I also made a photograph of this same Carolina wren, and you can see its left foot is kind of mangled. I don't know if it's a birth defect or what, but beautiful bird otherwise. And I love this shot of the chipping sparrow that I made on that branch. And Heather made a shot probably at just about the same time of the chipping sparrow on that branch. And here is one final chipping sparrow photograph on what was a chipping sparrow day. I've already put the cameras up now, but I thought I would let you know, we saw a lot of birds that we didn't get shots of today. We saw a eastern towhee. We saw both male and female cardinals that just stayed on the porch for just a second, not even enough time for us to get them in the frame and shoot them. And also a red-bellied woodpecker we saw out here today. So there's lots of room for improvement, but I think we're pretty happy with the shots we got. Oh, also over here, on the back side of the porch, where the blind's right in the corner of the porch, and on the back side of the porch I have a bluebird house, and right up here I can put my hand on the handrail, and right where my hand is, twice while we were doing photography in that direction, a eastern bluebird landed right there, and I could look over and see it, and of course it'd be gone as soon as it saw me. But anyway, we appreciate you joining us here from our back porch blind, and if you liked our video, hopefully you can give us a thumb up. That would really help us out. And if you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe, hit the bell, and as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. On behalf of Heather, I'm Phil. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. Well, Heather got a picture of a chipping sparrow, so that's pretty cool.
Chipping sparrow?
Shit. Heather got a sparrow of a chicken bee.